Hi guys, and welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. My name's Michelle.
And my name is Nina, and welcome back to Carefree Queens, guys. I hope you're all well. We're all in good spirits. The sun's out in Denmark and in England, and with reason, because Graham Potter has been sacked. There, I said it.
Hi. Oh, finally.
How do you feel? Like he's gone. Graham Potter's not our manager anymore.
This is how I feel. Just literally, it's the polar opposite of how I felt when Tuchel was sacked. I'm literally so happy. I'm still in shock after Tuchel was sacked, and I was only in shock for 10 seconds. I was like, yeah, finally they got. I mean, it's been a weird situation, hasn't it? Like even his paycheck, like the contract, like everything with it was just out of check.
Everything.
Everything.
It's crazy though, because like you said, I remember being sat in my room the morning I found Tuchel was sacked, just in tears, like in bits. I remember just being so upset about it. And fast forward 6 or so months, the mood is very different.
Oh,
We endured a whole journey with Graham Potter, went through so much more transition in the meantime, endured terrible performances, terrible results. The mood was just crumbling with each passing month around the club. It sort of brightened up around the transfer window because of the players, but that's it. It was just the players that we were excited about.
Oh yeah, that was
Nothing.
as well.
Yeah, nothing else apart from getting into through to quarterfinals and potentially that 3 in a row winning streak. I can't really remember what else I was excited about under Graham Potter. Maybe the streak at the beginning as well, when we, had that kind of new manager bounce and we beat a few teams, and then it just went south, didn't it?
Yeah, because also we didn't really know what to expect. I felt like it was sort of like a risk, wasn't it, to take him in because it. Let's be real. You never know. You never know when someone's going to strike, at what club they're going to be successful at, etc., etc., etc. I mean, it makes sense if it was actually going to work out. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of the same when after the Everton game, we would have been praising players if we left that game with 3 points. But I feel like it's the same with Graham Potter, that if it actually had worked out, we would have been praising him and we're like, oh yeah, gamble and then when a small manager, blah, 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 and look where we got him, blah 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 blah. But I mean, the opposite turnout was the complete opposite, and now we're not. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like he was a gamble, and it was just. It was a waste of money, wasn't it? Because he was well
Expensive gamble, yeah.
Absolutely.
For 5 years as well, didn't it? He signed a contract for 5 years. This man was supposed to be at the club for 5 years. He was supposed to help us go through this transition and this rebuild, and instead, sorry, excuse me. Instead, we were trying to help him, to work out what the hell he's doing, to give him constant encouragement from those that believed that he could potentially, just to even excuse everything and say, give him time, this is a process, it's a transition. But, some fans, honestly, at least hats off to them because they saw it coming before the World Cup. Potentially maybe even after, we beat Bournemouth, didn't we, just after we returned from the World Cup. Then we had the transfer window. So we keep getting these kind of distractions where just for a moment we believe it will be okay. But when you look at it, and now that he's sacked, you kind of get to sit here and look at the bigger picture and how it
absolutely.
was.
That's what horrible.
And you realize that
I don't even remember who posted it, but they posted a graphic design. I think he managed us for 22 games and he scored 21 goals. And it was just like the whole, when it was summarized, it was like, why would you want a manager like that at such a big club? And even like, I get the point of, oh, they need time. But I know it might be rare, right? But look at Erling Haaland. He didn't need time to adapt to the Premier League. He literally makes it look like it's a freaking play garden. Even Thomas, he goes in first game in the Bundesliga when he's back in the Bundesliga. He wins 4-0. Like, it's just, I get it's not the case with everyone, and I get it's rare cases that actually don't have the need to adapt. But Do you know what I'm getting at? Like literally, we
The
were
thing
walking.
is, though, with Chelsea fans, see, we had to trust the ownership. That was a whole nother thing, kind of the Abramovich era ending, getting adjusted to, the new regime, Todd Boehly, new ways, long-term project, to then coming to terms with Tuchel sacking. Again, you had to you don't have a choice as a fan. You have to trust that this is good for the club. So then we went through the process of trying and learning to trust Potter, seeing where it takes us, and just consistently going through transition. After playing so many finals and winning trophies with Thomas Tuchel, to then transitioning to have this new owner and this new manager, I don't know in which world Todd Boehly thought that we would be a club that accepts not getting results and not getting into any competitive cups, not playing any finals at all for like X amount of years, because this is what you get when you're not in top 4, you're not anywhere near top 7, you're out of the FA Cup, you're out of the Carabao Cup, you're barely in the Champions League, or you're holding on to it for dear life. That strips away any kind of faith you can possibly have, because Chelsea is a club that has standards. When you come in, you've got to be playing for those big titles. You've got to be playing for those big cups. Nothing less is expected or will be accepted. And that is the problem. And Graham Potter didn't look like he understood that part of it, or that part of the job, because he was so sure that obviously the club and the board is backing him and we're supporting and investing in this long-term project, that he thought he has all the time in the world, and that we will settle for a season where we don't play a final, we don't get top 4, we don't play in Europe the next year. But that is something that we as fans are not used to and that we won't accept. So the fact that these low standards were attempted to be normalised at the club this year is potentially what let down Potter, because he didn't look like someone who wanted to get us anywhere, really, is it? So after every defeat, we look to see something better, to see Potter drive his players, to motivate them, to give him at least a bit of a bollocking at times. That's what you need. You will get respect if you show that you're someone that is passionate, that is disciplined, that will and that will exert it onto the team. And it's just something that he didn't really do. And that's where the whole, maybe he was really out of his depth. And, had he gone to a club that does believe in long-term projects and can sacrifice, a few years in Europe, sometime away from trophies, then yeah, it probably would have worked out. But Chelsea's just not that kind of club. We need winning mentality managers, we need winning mentality in the team, and Potter just didn't manage to bring that out in any shape or form. And we were just crying out for something that never was going to happen. At least I was, because quite frankly was Potter until the end, wasn't I? And see, I was deceived, because frankly it's hope that kills you. It's the fact that we did have to have faith, and because the board showed such strong commitment to Potter, even after the Southampton game, when that was probably one of the biggest lows we hit, this season, losing to 20th place Southampton. And still, we were just, it kind of is almost like he tried to internalize accepting losing in us, which is mad. And I'm very happy that the fans stood their ground and said, look, this is our club and you're absolutely demolishing all our standards and everything we're about. So enough was enough, wasn't it? And thank God that the board listened.
It took them long enough. And I think I think it had more to do with pride rather than him accepting losing. I don't think anyone wants to. I've said this before, right? This is an investment for him, buying a football club, blah 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 blah. So I don't think you want to see your stocks crash. Like, you wouldn't put money into something and then just see it losing. So I think it had more to do with pride, to be honest. I think he took Potter in because he wanted it to sort of prove his worth. Like, I genuinely think he was trying to sort of gamble and outsmart people and be like, look, I just came into the sport and look what I took this low team manager. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, I genuinely think that he was trying to trick the game, and like he was taking a risk on everything. He was trying to, yeah, it was a risk essentially, wasn't it? And I just think that at the end of the day it was pride. that he didn't really want to accept that his risk and his gamble and his investment was a wrong one. It was the wrong
Mm.
decision. So I genuinely think it has more to do with pride rather than him having a losing mentality. Because why else would you buy a football club and then just sit there, watch them lose game in game out? So I think like I said, I think it comes down to pride. And even like Thomas Tuchel even said something along the lines like, um, I get a job here, and a week after they sacked the manager that replaced me. Do you think he would have, if he
Come
was offered, do you think he would do that? Because I genuinely couldn't see that happening. Like, they literally shat all over him.
No. And I don't think he would have. And maybe, I love Thomas Tuchel, I do. And if the case is that he lost the dressing room at the end of it, and we were kind of playing crappy football towards the end of it, I do
Yeah.
think that it is something that he could have potentially fixed, and he could have been more applicable for the long-term project. But then again, there's arguments against that. So even if he wasn't the man, obviously he was sacked, like that's in the past. I don't know if he would have come back. He loves the club, but would he have accepted the job there, or maybe would he have wanted to try out a different path? Obviously, Bayern Munich is a great opportunity for him, and he's going to do bits with them, I'm sure. Potentially, that's looking like at least a minimum of a trophy to me for this season for Bayern Munich. I don't know which one, but one at least I'm thinking. And that's what he does. Thomas Tuchel is a winning mentality manager, and he is
That's
a
who he
winning
needs.
title manager. But back to the pride situation, I think it's also more of, I mean, part of creating a process and taking on a process is also change within it. If something doesn't work out, you got to let go and accept that it's not worked out, but that there is another substitution there, or there are other kind of projects there as well.
Yeah.
So the fact that Todd Bowley actually sat down and listened out to the fan base and accepted that he did get it wrong, and that Graham Potter wasn't the man, and that frankly what he did with Brighton was just a completely different accomplishment, which will always be an accomplishment for him. He has that up his sleeve. He did bits with Brighton, got them into a very good place, got them competing for top four. However, Chelsea was just a completely different project, and it's okay. It doesn't always work out in life, and I do still think all the hate he got was just maybe a step too far at times. Obviously criticised the football, but at times it just got completely out of hand. And at the end of the day, he does look like a nice man. Got respect for him. He didn't do the greatest job at Chelsea. Probably left us in a very horrendously embarrassed place. But that just goes to show that we need to be a bit more careful with our selection of managers in future. That is a lesson for Todd as well. Like you said,
Yeah.
he's the first time owner of a football club here, and he is obviously learning as he goes. He made some great decisions over the transfer window, which showed us that we can trust him. He also, obviously, we know that he's been on Twitter before as well. He does look out in these spaces, and he does look at what fans do. So at least that's kind of installing some trust in the ownership as well. We're not completely doomed. We're not in the worst hands we could possibly be. So right now we're looking forward, right? We've still got an X amount of fixtures. We've still got to play Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Brighton, Liverpool, Brentford. Oh. And obviously Bruno's at the wheel now, so we'll see what he's going to do. I mean, there's some people are saying, well, he's worked with Graham Potter for such a long while, at Brighton, obviously at Chelsea as well. Is this the best decision? But Bruno's a man of his own. He's going to have his own tactical ideas. He's going to probably, I'm hoping that the lineup he brings out tomorrow is going to be one that is going to, completely get the fans up and on their feet and just ready for the game, because that's where it all kind of starts. It always starts up from the selection of lineup, your squad, your bench, and that kind of speaks magnitude about what you're like as a manager as well. So obviously he's stepping in, he's taking on this great position that comes with great responsibility. Quite frankly, he has to pick up a bleeding Chelsea team and produce a result. And obviously we're playing Liverpool, battle of the humiliated, as I said on Saturday, because that's what we are right now, the two clown clubs. So even though, you know, they are further above us, who cares? So that will be interesting, but I feel much better about that game. I don't know about you, but there is something that is a lot more exciting, that feels a lot more relaxed now that we know that Graham Potter's gone. We don't have to worry about the tactical choices letting us down and the substitutions and just sitting back. And I hope that Bruno's sending every one of those players out tonight to play for the victory. And
absolutely. And the thing is, we don't even know, like you said, we don't know with this guy. He has been working with Potter, and I mean, he's been a part of the managing staff, so he's sort of been a part of the problem. But I just hope he, like you said, he's a man of his own. So I don't want to get carried away. I want to see someone do something before I get carried away. And I said that I don't want to get too carried away with Graham Potter until I've seen a 5 to 6 winning streak, and we only got a 3 winning streak. So yeah, I just, like you said, the lineup is going to be really interesting. It's just gonna, in general, I think it's because we've been crying out for this more or less ever since he came to the club. We don't want this guy here. He's too polite, because he is absolutely a sweetheart. There's no doubt about it. He's so calm, he's so gentle, but that's not what you want in a football manager. I don't want to see a football manager standing on the sideline applauding the players for doing not even the bare minimum and you're losing. I want to see a manager mental that we only scored 1 goal, but we kept the clean sheet. Like, I want the hunger. I want someone, like you said, I don't want someone who settles for less. It's not good enough. The boys didn't get it all, like give it all. It's just, we need someone who's hungry. And I just hope that, I mean, this is a temporary manager, right? But I just hope he has, literally, if it has 50% more hunger than Graham Potter is, literally, it's going to be massive different. It's going to be, yeah, I'm excited for tonight. I mean, when we played Liverpool, that was Madrid's first game. He looked so hungry, and I feel like that spark has sort of been stealen from him. But I mean, we didn't concede, and we also didn't score any goals. It was a 0-0. So I mean, we just, yeah, like you said, there's just something in the air, but I still don't want to get carried away. I hope for every single match, but I'm just numb at this point, to be honest. I'm literally just
No, I get you completely. I just think my point of view is that tonight is like almost just a brand new night. It just almost means like you've kind of let go of that baggage that's just been kind of pulling you down, and you get to just play football, really, and just be there for the fans. And obviously the players have all just been crying to impress the fans, and you know, they've been posting their heartbroken Instagram posts and whatnot, and they just want to post that post where it's like, we're back and we're in this game, and you know, that's what we want to see as well.
Yeah, because that's the thing in it. Like you said, it's literally been, oh, we get 1 win, or we get 1 draw, then we get a few losses, and then we get like, I don't think they really know when to be excited either. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, because I even said this to you. I was like, I don't even know if I can be excited for a win, because I would already be on to the next match and be like, all right, we won one match, but I mean, I need consistency. I'll cheer on when, and I think that's sort of the same with the players, not gonna lie. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when can you actually be genuinely happy for a win, because you're already mentally onto the next game? So I miss that feeling. I miss that carefree feeling, honestly. Literally, don't remember the last time I was actually carefree. I've been like, when I've been excited for wins, I've almost felt delusional. I've like, am I celebrating a win right now? What's going on? So I crave that feeling. I crave the carefree feeling, honestly.
Absolutely. And obviously there's still something to play for. I mean, we're in the quarterfinals and we're playing Real Madrid. You know, regardless of everything that's happened in the past, we got to take that game as a world of its own. You know, we're going to Bernabeu before anywhere else, and that is going to be a daunting place to visit. And with the results we have behind us, I think we could just ignore them for the time being and just really take that night as a world of its own. And like we spoke about this, it's really how they turn up on the night, because Champions League is just such a different vibe, and it's just so different to anything else that you've done before. And, you know, like I said, I've just keep getting flashbacks of how crappy we were in the Prem, and that when we're in the Champions League, it's just completely different. And you know what some people say, you know, Graham Potter genuinely didn't lose a Champions League game.
And that's so strange, isn't it? It's literally the best competition in the football world, if not like literally in the whole sporting world. And you turn up for those games, but you don't turn up for the Premier League, and that's the best league in the, like, it's
one thing we can thank him for, though. Fair enough. We beat AC Milan, we beat Borussia Dortmund. What more could you ask for?
It's so weird. Like, you can hype your team up for such a massive game. Why can't you hype them up? Like, essentially, to me, I know there's a difference. Like, you need to be consistent in the Prem, and you just need to turn up for that one match, and then you can literally, do you know what I mean? But like, it's essentially the same thing. You need to hype them up for a match. That's it. And like, I was in Dortmund, right? He was literally doing this to the fans. Like, he was trying to hype people up. It's like, is that Graham Potter who is like, what is going on here? And I think the problem with him was that he realized too late that he needed to be more aggressive. That press side where he was gonna, we might win this game, and then we're gonna go in and beat. Like, he was being aggressive with it, and everyone loved it, but it was too late. It was way too late. Like, we needed that mentality from the start, and I think that was just one of the many reasons he got sacked. Deservingly got sacked.
It's almost like he just didn't really believe in himself either, is it? It's almost like he didn't really think he could take this job on, and that's just not what you need, you know. So it's done. It's done. Like, Graham Potter is history now. He is no longer Chelsea's manager. Some say that this is the worst Premier League manager that Chelsea has had. And I see why. I see why. Because frankly, he pulled us down more than he did up. You know, we were 6th when Thomas Tuchel was sacked, and we're 11th now when Graham Potter's sacked. So that is a decline. It's a crazy decline. You know, if people are sitting here comparing it to the 15-16 season, then, you know, that just says it all. But we're looking forward. Tonight, I want to see aggression. Put Mudryk, throw him in that starting lineup. Let him be on that wing and just let him work his magic again. Whoever's going up against Trent, I don't care. Whatever, like, Trent is.
No, give me your starting 11 and what formation you would play. I think that's a fun one to wrap it up.
That's a fun one to pick. So don't put Reece James as a right centre back, please. Whatever you do, Bruno, just play him in his position. He can handle it. He's fit now. So I'd go with a back three again. I'd put Badiashile in there as well. I think Fofana's back as well. I don't know if Wesley Fofana apparently trained. Don't know if he's fit or if he will play him, but if he is fit, throw him in there as well. Fofana with Badiashile.
Reece, Badiashile, and then Fofana.
He's probably, let's be real, he probably will play Cucurella. He's one of their own, isn't he? So he'll probably put him back there with Chile.
I mean, honestly, quite frankly, it's been working when you have been with him. Like, literally, it's like, do you know, like, when you start to learn how to ride the bike, you have those supporting wheels. I feel like that's the well for Cucurella. Like, it just works way better.
The thing is, though, that's what I said. Like, Cucurella looks so much better in that formation with Chile kind of towards his left, so he can play it forward, because he does trust Chile with the ball, even if he doesn't trust himself that much. He trusts Chilwell. And when you have Ben there, you've got some faith, you've got some confidence, you know. Otherwise, there's too much back passing going on. When he plays as a full left back, he's very shaky and he's very scared, isn't he?
It's so
I'd like to see Kante start as well. I think he's got a start in him. That'd be great.
What's your formation again?
No.
So 3-4-3?
No, I'll play back 5, and then I'll have Enzo. Potentially Kovacic will start. I just think Kova, probably because he'll be captain as well. Kova, put Kante on the bench, bring him on. Just bring him on for the atmosphere. Bring him on to piss off Liverpool. Bring him on to please us, to make us feel happy.
That would be such a Aussie move is
That would really be great.
yeah,
And
can't wow.
because like look at the game against Everton, like what that did to us. You know, just sorry, Villa. What that did to us, just bringing him on. You know, we were crying for him to be brought on against Everton. He was brought on against Villa, and even though, you know, we still lost 2-0, Kante was playing up front. What was he doing? Like getting the shots up there. He had a shot that went slightly wide, but you know, if we're relying on Kante to finish our chances and provide us with goals, then that just speaks everything, really, what he is. And he's so special, and I just love him. You know, he's someone that can like pick us up when we're at our lowest.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
even just mentally and physically, of course.
And I think that's where people sort of like, I think that's something people tend to forget about football. It's so mental as well. Like you said, bring Kante on in the 45th minute, or like, you know, when second half starts, just to piss off Liverpool. Literally, it's mental as well. You bring on such a phenomenal midfielder. You're gonna have the other team doubting, like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, you're gonna have the other team in their head. You wanna. I think that's important for managing a team as well. It's not physical only; it's mental as well. It's sort of like a game of chess, almost. Like you literally, it's a whole thing. All right, Kovacic and Kante, and then who's your front?
I'll play Mudryk, like I said, give him a start, let him start, because he already put on a good cameo against Liverpool. Liverpool already scared of him, so bring him on so you can see what he can do. And also, that's where his confidence will come from. You've got to give him games so that he can play. Yeah, some will say that he didn't manage to get as involved in our last game, and that, you know, he kind of was missing. But we still haven't found a way to utilise him in the best way. So obviously that's going to come with a manager that knows how to play him and obviously works the squad better. So I think his playing time will come. I think every manager loves to play Havertz, don't they? You know, regardless of what you're getting with Havertz, he's always in the starting lineup, so that's an obvious one for me. And I'd love to play
like
Joao.
every other manager. Would you actually start him?
Well,
we live in a delusional carefree world. Just start whoever you want to start.
Just no. The thing with Havertz is I've always just had an issue with just his finishing as well. Like, he just cost us so many chances, and you know, he has like a fair share of good games. He'll score 3 goals and then he'll go missing for 8 games, and then that, you know what you're getting with him. That's my only issue with him, and that he's got the confidence, that he's got the work ethic. You know, he always puts a shift in. He loves the club. That's all clear. Like, he's a good player. But with him, it's just, obviously he's arguably been played as a striker, but he's not a striker, and we've really been pushing him up into that position, and he just can't really deliver. You know, play him a little bit further back, and he is a little bit better. He does get involved in build up of play and creation, but that's it. And that game versus Aston Villa was screaming that we don't have a striker. You know, Reece James and Chilwell could whip in the best crosses in the world. Nobody's there to meet him, and they just get headed out in the keeper's hands, whatever. There's nobody there. And that is really our problem. But whatever manager comes in now, that's probably going to be something that they're looking into straight away for summer.
Hopefully.
And that is a good place to be, you know. Obviously, we know Datro Fofana is someone we're looking to kind of invest in long term, so he's not getting rushed into anything right now. Nobody is throwing him in there as a number 9 and expecting him to score 25 goals in a season. No, he is obviously here for a long while. He's going to be somebody that is, you know, has time invested in him, you know, has potential, has the efforts there, and he could be something really special. So it's exciting to see where players will go, and with the manager that's going to come in, obviously that could be anyone. Poch is on the line, Nagelsmann's on the line. I'm hearing things about Zidane as well, obviously Luis Enrique. So there's obviously options there. I don't know. That is a whole other discussion of its own, but I think that is a good way to wrap it up, and just we've reflected on Graham Potter. We, funnily enough, started off this show with the Graham Potter debate, and now we're sat here, episode 7, I believe, and we are talking about
him again.
his sack. That's it. There is no debate anymore. Graham Potter's well and truly gone, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I will say one thing. If I could make the lineup, I would definitely start Fofana as the front because, like you said, he looks the most as a number 9. If I were to say who's your number 9 in Chelsea, he looks the most to be like, I don't even know how to phrase it, but it's just the small amount we have seen him play. I would definitely give him a chance because that's the thing in it. Like we almost have too big of a squad. Like how are you gonna pick?
Well, that's a job for the next manager. And on that note, good luck, Chelsea. But no, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been great. Graham Potter's gone. Everyone have a drink. Everyone have a sigh of relief. Have a clap. Have a round of applause. Get your Chelsea shirts out. England is a sunny day today, so enjoy the sun and have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Cheers. Thanks for watching, guys.
Like and subscribe.